Welcome to Season 4 of John McGivern's Main Streets.
Lights out, boys.
The Main Streets podcast takes you behind the scenes of this popular PBS Wisconsin program. Now, get the inside scoop on this week's episode from host John McGivern and Emmy Fink and the Main Streets producer and director Lois Mau.
Can't believe this is the end.
That's
our final episode, West Bend, Wisconsin, episode 13 of season 4. I'm here with Lois, our producer of not only the entire show, but of this episode. You produced this episode.
I know. I didn't have a content producer. That was sad for me.
Oh, it was
more work for you.
So I'm here with Lois and Emmy. It's the three of us today. It was a great episode, and I really like West Bend.
It was so charming. I mean,
Yeah.
I just have not spent much time in West Bend, just kind of zipped through it. Their downtown was picture perfect.
Do you know, they just redid a lot of downtown. So they redid the streetscape. They've redone like all of the kind of parking down there. I think they've buried some of their
Riverwalk, though. They
the
put in
Riverwalk. That's right.
It's a place we've talked about, but didn't want to go until it was done.
Right.
And it's done. So, and you know, very convenient for us, obviously, living in Milwaukee. I loved that it's so close, but it got such a vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of coming up. I feel like it's one of those little cities that you're kind of like, hey, there's something going on here.
Absolutely.
Well, and you know, one of my favorite places in the area is the Museum of Wisconsin Art.
Yes.
So that was our segment together. We did the gardens, and then we did walk in and take a look at some of the art, which was fun, Emmy.
I have to tell you, I mean, you amaze me so many different times, but your knowledge on just any art that was in there, it was like you knew the artist, you knew the people working in there. He has this whole, he could host a whole art show. There, you have untapped knowledge of this. This was
I did host an art show that Lois produced for Milwaukee.
Of course you did.
Oh, no, this was a very long time ago, but I did know about his art prowess. So at least I knew that this would be a good segment for the two of you together.
It was great. It was great.
Well, you basically handheld me the whole time because I was a complete.
You killed me because you were like, are we done here yet? And I'm like, and Lois was like, come on, McGivern, which generally doesn't happen.
Right.
Where I'm always like, come on, let's go. Give me the keys to the van. Here
We
I was
were
like, are we
waiting
leaving already?
for
Yeah.
you. Remember the gentleman you met who knew all the information, and he wanted to know about the collection that got put behind. It wasn't out. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is what he feels like when we sit and talk to people, and he's like, let's go. We had, we were able, role reversal.
It was great fun, though.
It was.
The Museum of Wisconsin Art is very well known, and it's very known, not just throughout the state, but, West Bend, it's kind of that, it doesn't look like you expected, right?
No.
It's a shape that is supposed to be a boat, it's
is.
got the
Ship.
bow. Yes,
Yeah.
a ship, and it's right along the river.
Yeah.
But if you're right in downtown West Bend, you don't see it.
No.
So it's kind of a surprise, and
Yeah.
it's so different looking. And now those gardens are done. So last time we did West Bend, I mean, for around the corner years and years ago, the gardens were not in.
No.
But they
Nor was the Riverwalk.
Right, nor was the Riverwalk. But
Right.
now those gardens especially were part of the original plan. It's just that it took some time to get them in. And so I wanted you guys to start outside because that's another thing that people should actually just take some time.
For sure.
The aspens and the hydrangeas. Now, we were just there so in September, and so it wasn't full bloom color. You guys got to go there in like June.
June?
Yes.
You know what it reminded me of? Amoka in Madison. The shape of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Madison Museum of Contemporary Art,
Yes.
right
Yes.
by Overture there. It kind of had that feel to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean, sleek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. But I knew that you guys, I knew John was going to love it there. But I put you in there with him so that it wouldn't just turn into a lot of talk about art. We had to have some levity. And I knew that Emmy was like, I don't really get any of this.
What do you see here? Are you sure you want to know? Remember the back? I was like, these look like kids' birthday balloons. You're like, this is glass mosaic art sculptures. I'm like, of course it is.
You were like, where's the restroom?
So Mo is kind of a no-brainer in West Bend. You have
to do it.
But,
yeah, you do.
Because I did produce this one. It's close enough that I could fit it in between other shoots and that kind of stuff to be able to do the site surveys, which I did. And so I worked with the city administrator there, Jay, and Jess, who is kind of his right-hand person, right-hand woman. And I'm telling you, it was simple because they were super, super helpful and not pushy. So it's close enough. So I just went up and did my own little tour. You don't tell them you're coming, just kind of look around. And it really was true. The downtown is elevated now.
Right.
And, the Riverwalk is in. And it had been years since, we had done it first.
There's a great restaurant group down there now, the Norbert and the Orville.
Right.
Tony, who's those are his grandfather's names.
Isn't that
and
cool?
Those are the two restaurants
cool.
that
and again, elevated cuisine.
Elevated cuisine in downtown
joint.
and right on Main Street. Right down from the theater, which again, the theater, once that marquee was lit again.
Yes. What they did to renovate that theater is pretty cool because it doesn't look like it did before on the inside. Yes, there's a stage and yes, there's seating, but they took out the second half of the whole first level and made a bar and a bigger lobby so that they can use it for meetings for businesses. They really thought ahead to repurposing. And I thought it was smart.
So there's more seats in the balcony than there are on the first floor. There's probably 170 seats, 150 seats.
I forgot what he said. What did Bill?
On the first floor. And then the rest of it is the lobby at the bar. So it's like, oh, look at the little theater with the big bar.
Right.
But then they've got the seats in the balcony. So, but the fact that they kind of changed the entire format of this old vaudevillian theater that was built in the early 1900s.
But what they kept was all of the Art Deco painting.
Yeah.
They redid it. They found the original pictures and did it on the wall. Right.
Sconces,
gold leaf.
light fixtures. Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Love it.
Again, right downtown in the middle of downtown West Bend. Yeah. So that was part of the formula of bringing West Bend back.
Absolutely. And all the different things that they can do there.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you grew up around, you obviously grew up in Wisconsin, and we all knew the West Bend Aluminum Company.
Oh, sure.
I've seen pictures of the old teapots and all that, and I'm like, my mom had that, my grandma had that. You see that stuff. And that kind of is that West Bend name got known through that company as well as the insurance company. So the name West Bend is kind of known. I think people sometimes don't know why they know it. They know it from West Bend Mutual. They know it from West Bend Aluminum, probably.
Yeah. And as a kid, we used to go, we always went to Gordon Park Pool to go swimming, which was part of the Milwaukee, Park District.
Yeah.
And it had 3 diving boards, and it was of course a big concrete pool is what it was. But for a treat, my mom would bring us up to West Bend to go to, what's the name of the park? Regnar, which had a sandy bottom. That was their pool. And it was like, this is the pool in West Bend, when it really was a man-made lake and I'll never forget, which is, completely off topic, but Winston Churchill, when Winston Churchill died, we were on our way back home from West Bend, from that park, and over the radio, the announcement came that Winston Churchill had passed. And my mom was in the car and said, "This is history in the making." And I was like, I can't believe Winston Churchill is. This is what I remember about West Bend, Wisconsin. So there was a connection that to go back there, it's like I remember coming here as a kid because Winston Churchill died while we were on our way home.
The random things you will never forget.
I know, isn't it wild?
And you remember where you were. We shot at Regnar Park, right?
We did. Yes, that beautiful labyrinth is
my
in
gosh.
Regnar Park, and if you have not experienced it. It's such a testament to volunteerism in that town.
Because the city Park Service, they do not take care of that. It's
No.
all privately funded.
And the plantings in there and the thought that goes into all of them. And I'm sorry that I can't remember her name, but when we went there, she
Yes.
was tending it.
Right.
And I was just blown away by
That
it.
was your stand-up?
It was one of my stand-ups. She was a former teacher, and she was lovely. But she, just told us so much about it, and it was stunning.
And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't look so good right now." And
Yeah, we're like, what
"Are
does
you
it
kidding?"
usually look like?
Yeah, I guess I got to go there in June too. Because wow, it was amazing. But that has quite the reputation. I think people know about the Labyrinth, but the rest of that park, that big baseball field. That's
Oh,
right
yeah.
there, they
I
have a lot of
did not
gems.
see the pool with the sandy bottom, but
I
that is
wonder if that's still there because I didn't see it either.
It's right as you go into the park, it's right to the left. It was right as you entered the park to your left.
I don't know if it's.
I don't think it's
I
there
wonder
anymore.
if it
I
is.
wonder if it's the baseball field.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
right. Because
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
was to the left when you pulled in.
This was the 1960s, you guys.
I could have been gone by now.
Yeah.
But what's not gone by now is that courthouse, the old courthouse that's connected to the jail.
Well, the jail, okay. The
This was
jail is
interesting.
connected to the house.
The jail is the house.
The jail
sheriff's house.
is the sheriff's house. So you walk into this house, and it's like, oh, it's a beautiful old turn of the century home, stone brick, beautiful home.
Big.
And you walk in, and it's like, oh, there are little rooms. And then it's like, what is this room? This has got 4 beds in, and then there's this big door. When you open the door, there is a jail. And there's no question that they turn it's not like they turned this part of the house into a jail. This was built as a jail,
Yes.
connected to the sheriff's house.
In 1886, it's called the 1886 jailhouse.
Yeah.
And on the top of it, it says jail. But the sheriff lived there, and you took that post as the sheriff knowing that you had to take care of the prisoners. Your wife had to cook for them, do their laundry, feed them their meals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the one room that was in the house that had 2 sets of bunk beds and a sink, it was like, whose room is it? That was the woman's jail. So that was a little less jaily than the rest
probably
of it.
they weren't in there for as bad of a crime, I'm guessing.
That's true. They said back then it was mostly like debtors, drunks. You ever,
This was
Do you know
Mayberry.
Mayberry? Do you know the Andy Taylor
Yes,
show?
yes. Andy Griffith?
Yeah.
Andy Griffith, yes.
This
you
is
know
what
that.
it was like.
Yes.
Aunt B would feed Otis.
Aunt B, yes.
I'm telling you.
Gomer
this-
Pyle?
Gomer Pyle.
Yes.
That's where he got his start right there. Hello.
But that was a real
Wow.
thing. And they said that happened till like the 60s. Yeah.
Oh, and you got to go in there.
We did.
And it's all preserved, and it's really a fun tour to take. If you've never seen anything like it, it's really,
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the courthouse that's next to it is just gorgeous. It's now the Historical Society, and they take care of it and they preserve it. And the historical tours, start from there, and it's stunning. It's just a stunning building.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
Something we did. And I looked at my schedule, and it was like, we're going to a costume shop? Wait, why are we going to a costume shop? And Lois said, just wait. Well,
So you knew it was going to be good.
we walked into this costume shop. It was the biggest, and I'm an actor by trade, so I've been to every regional theater and regular theaters where they have costume shops.
So you're used to costumes.
I am, but this was huge, and every era and every sort of everything. Everything was
In West Bend?
in West Bend, and one woman
Lori?
runs and does the whole thing. And she makes
She
it. She builds the stuff.
Yes. And we're talking all the way from big giant head, like, fuzzy costumes of characters like Shrek or like, M&Ms and stuff like that, to like, she provides theaters. If your high school is doing Grease, she's got it.
She's
if
got
your high
all of
school is
it.
doing Shrek, she's got it.
How many costumes are in this shop?
Well, the thing is, there's pieces, so I would say there's at least 10,000 pieces.
This is an entire row of capes?
Here's our pirates, our Uncle Sam's, our leprechauns, our Easter bunnies. How about a minion? And arms out.
There we
Pull your own shorts down. It's very hard to see.
go. What are you looking at?
Some of them have built-in fans.
Obviously, you didn't give me one of them.
People that are coming in to have fun.
It's just
So
In
there
West
can't
Bend.
be too many of those in the state.
I do
like
not
a
think so.
handful of.
No. And those that aren't anymore, she bought their inventory.
Oh, smart.
Yep.
Yeah,
So smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you would need a huge building for this, right?
She owns it. She owns the building, and she has apartments on the second floor above the costume shop.
It's
Yeah.
kind of, handmade craftsmanship
Right.
like that and
Right.
taking the care like that. And then we found another craftsman in town who is a cobbler. Ray Carlson owns Ray's Shoe Repair.
My
And
sister was there yesterday picking up my shoes.
oh, you're kidding.
No, because I brought shoes in a bag that needed repair.
Like what part of the sole or
The
like what does he
stitching
repair?
was coming out, and I thought,
sure.
all he has to do is stitch it. Well, this is what a character this guy
Oh,
is.
Ray is so
Loved
fun to talk
him.
to. You should just go in and have a conversation
Yeah,
with him, even if you
because
don't need
Ray
the
was
shoes.
like, "Do you think these are really stitched? They don't stitch things anymore. This is glued. The stitch is just a decoration." I was like, "You've got to be kidding me. These are Cole Haan. These are expensive." Cole Haan. Huh. I was like, "Oh my God."
Oh, he knew.
He knows
knew
it
all
all.
the shoe secrets.
So I brought a pair of Cole Haans that were coming apart.
But
And
he's got equipment in there that's been there for
1930s.
Yes,
And
and
he
s-
just moved to this place last year.
Yep.
He hauled this equipment the size of a car.
Yeah.
2 huge machines, a stitcher and a gluer, he moved it all into a new space, which is right behind the Valvoline oil change place on South Main Street, which is not Main Street. It was, and such a character. And when we walked in, he was just kind of like, yeah, what I want to do? Well, huh? By the end, it was like, I want to work here.
So did he actually stitch?
No, he glued.
his shoes were glued, but he does that stitching. I mean, he has machines there that are so old, but he showed John how to use them. You put the thing on. I'm telling you, OSHA would not approve of some of these. He could literally stitch right through his hand on some of those things.
Right.
But that's how they did it, and that's how he does it.
I hope he has an apprentice that he's teaching.
No,
because
we
you
talked
think
about it. He says when he's done, it's done.
And that's
Yeah.
what's sad.
It's
is
so
where
sad.
you'd throw those shoes out.
I
'Cause
would
there's no
think
place
of
to fix
doing it
them.
as a second career, but I've been to a couple cobbler. They're all too messy for me.
Oh, right.
It's like, how do you find anything? I said, you've got to straighten this place up a little bit. You really do.
You got to clean up the shoe polish. This is not good.
It was all over the place. But can I tell you, while we were there for an hour.
That was amazing.
There must have been 8, 9 in and out. People,
Wow.
We
people
were like,
coming,
I
can you
didn't
sew
think-
my purse
Yes.
strap is
So
can-
smart.
belts, right? There were people with
Belts.
belts that wanted their buckles came off and they wanted them fixed, and he does all of that.
Wow.
And we asked him, what's going to happen when you retire? And
Done.
he said, it'll be done. And he said, people just throw everything away now. They don't think to fix
Right.
it.
Because the people who know how to fix it are fewer and fewer. That's
Or
why.
Right.
because we're a throwaway society.
Right.
That's a whole nother discussion.
And all of the stuff that came in, those who came in to pick something up, it's like, I'm here to pick up, I had a sandal that the strap broke. What color were they? Oh, they were the purple one. Purple, hold on. These? No, those aren't them. Hold on, let me get, you have another pair of purple
sandals?
sandal? Here it is, right here. That's $8.
So
I'm like,
I
how do
have
you
this
make it?
gentleman pictured. How old of a guy?
Younger than me.
Yeah, he's probably
So
60.
still old, but like 60.
Wow.
Say
I
Ray's
hope
like
he does this for another 40 years.
Yeah, he won't. Another 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my sister went in there yesterday and she said, oh my Lord, she didn't know that we featured him.
Oh, really?
She just thought I
you
dropped my
off.
shoes off.
You
And
just
then-
randomly found him.
And she said, oh my God, when I walked in, I thought, I don't have a ticket. I don't have how am I going to? And she says, I'm here to pick up my brother's shoes. And he was like, yeah. His name's John McGivern, and he was like, oh, really? He couldn't have stopped in and gotten his shoes? Come on. He said, hold on. You know what I did? I put a brand new sole on here. So I took the one off that was coming off, and here's a brand new sole, and it's $26.
No.
And she was like, well, perfect. And he said, that was the most fun that I've had in a long time.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It was fun.
I'm glad that he wasn't mad that you personally didn't come pick up your shoes.
He couldn't have come. I know. I mean,
Now I feel bad. Now I'm like, oh no, John, we should have went up and picked up your shoes together.
I know. But I said to Colleen lives in Cedarburg. So I was like, do you ever make it to West Bend? She says, yeah, I do. I said, well, next time you're there, let me know.
Right.
So in the beginning of the week, she says, I'm going up. I said, stop it right. She says, where is it? I said, right
behind the
Valvoline.
Valvoline.
I'm going to remember he's there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It was a really good episode. The Beat Goes On.
That's a good record store.
And
right?
what did it used to be?
Oh, it was the very first exclusive company in Wisconsin.
Which
the exclusive company.
Sure.
Do you know
yes,
that? Oh, my
those
God.
ads, yes.
The ads.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it
This
was
is
the
the very
very
first
first
one
one.
in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, and still in business.
Well, this name now is The Beat Goes On.
Okay.
And it's vinyl mostly. It's all, it's made such a resurgence that it's a big, people love to go in there and look around, and the owner was fantastic. And so we did a little thing in there. And
We did something at West Bend Music Academy, which not only sells instruments, it gives classes,
Yeah.
it does seminars, it has,
they have a podcasting and video kind of studio in the basement and they give musicians an opportunity to actually perform instead of just teaching them how to play the guitar, or they have a performance kind of space downstairs, and they really are a community all amongst themselves.
right.
Cool instruments.
It was a great episode.
Absolutely. For people who love burgers, really quick, the tip for West Bend was to go to Brazen Head Pub Burger, because it's rated like the 8th best burger in the entire state of Wisconsin. We all had lunch there.
Yep.
One of the rare occasions that we have time to stop and eat. Really only because we needed the burger for the shot. You know how it works.
Well,
And the burger.
I came, that's when I was meeting you guys.
Yes.
And you are outside the place with the best looking burger ever.
Oh,
Because
right.
it was dark in there. Do you remember it was dark? And I was like, Emmy, you got to stand outside. And she's like, this burger was just flowing all over her hands.
We had stopped at the popcorn shop. We had stopped at the candy shop. And it
Right.
was a whole like little
Food
stand-up
thing.
Oh, nice.
food thing.
Nice.
But yes, those sauteed mushrooms and grilled onions were literally dripping down
Yes.
the...
Ooh, Lord.
I had no problem eating that once we were done.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
This is it, episode 13 of season 4, West Bend, Wisconsin.
It was a good way to end.
We
you
had a
guys.
really good season. you
Where did the
guys.
summer go?
We have a fan shout out, of course, for West Bend episode. It's Dorothy McGrath from Denver, Colorado. If it's the same Dorothy McGrath that we know from Milwaukee PBS, thanks, Dorothy. We thought she moved to Alaska. It's probably not the same.
Maybe it's not the same.
No. Thanks, Dorothy. I'm off to a family cottage on the chain of lakes near Waupaca for a week, is what I'm going to do. You are off to Kentucky to go on a bourbon tour, aren't you, Lois?
You better believe it.
And I think Emmy is off
Wow.
to...
I am off to herd my 3 children that I have left alone for several days this summer.
The baby's in the car right now.
That's right. Mama's coming home, kids.
It's so good. It was a great season, you guys, and we'll see you. Can we announce anything right now, or do we have to
I'm
wait?
planning on going for 5. Are you guys planning on going?
5.
It's just a
Season
nice, good
5.
round number.
10 is what I'm going for.
All right. Well,
All
let's
right.
do season 5 next.
Let's
and
do
then
5
all
next.
right.
Okay.
I love it.
Love you guys.
Love you
too.
guys.
See ya.
Want to wear something that's going to support your favorite show? Shop at Main Street Store. Proceeds go to help us get next season into production, so come on, go shopping at mainstreets.tv.